Hey everyone, it is a Tuesday, and you know what that means. Week 11 NFL opening line report. I'm Tony George from Doc Sports. I have not seen a single line this week. I know of one. Because I live in Kansas City, of course, whenever the lines open up, all my buddies locally here, uh, they're texting me wanting to know about what I think. Uh, that being said, what I think was they were lucky to win against the Broncos this week. But nonetheless, let's go ahead and let you know how this works. I give you my opening thoughts and initial reactions, not handicap picks, to the games and react to the lines that I see for the first time. Tell you what I think. And in the comments section, you react. You tell me what you think your best bets are, who to tease, who to moneyline parlay. Tony, you're way off base. Leave them in the comments section. I'll go back in the the admin area, and I'll approve those comments once we take out the links to porn sites, other handicapping companies, putting links into the Super Lock of the Millennium page because Docs is no good, and they're the real cappers, and of course all the F bombs and haters. Kind of weed that out. It's family entertainment. So be sure and leave your comments. I'll go in. We get hundreds of comments. I get through about a third of them, but I'll find the relevant ones and I'll interact with you, and we'll go back and forth a little bit in the comments section of this week's NFL action. We had a 3-2 week this past week in the NFL. I think we were down about 2 units total. Had a top play on Detroit, who, I had somebody, just before we get to this, just a comment, somebody was just eviscerating me on Twitter about that pick, and I'm the squarest SOB on the planet. Can't believe Doc Sports has guys that put out square picks. If you don't think Detroit was the right side in that game, you're out of your frickin' mind. Here is a team that goes on the road and is a team that played like a team I was unfamiliar with except for the last 10 minutes of the game. Very rarely, if at all, I can't even remember a time in my 33 years where an NFL team went on the road against a team leading their division that's going to be a playoff team and probably advance in the playoffs and have 5 turnovers and win and miss a cover by a half a point. I can't remember a time. NFL teams don't go on the road and throw 5 interceptions and win games. Ever. Now, I don't know if that's a testament to Detroit or if that's a huge red flag for Houston. Just FYI. Let's get to the games. Here we go. We are going to open up Thursday night with, an NFC East divisional battle. Washington Commanders. I'm going to call them Redskins from time to time because I'm old school. That's just how I see it. The Washington Commanders are catching 3.5, total 49 on the road at Philadelphia. Philadelphia put up a big win against Dallas. There's a few college teams the way Dallas is playing that could put up a win against them. And Washington, the victim of Mike Tomlin off a bye week. Pittsburgh continues to win games. Pittsburgh a lot, and that was a 1-point ball game. Philadelphia, walk in the park against Dallas. Anybody that plays Dallas can be a walk in the park. You got a flip-flop at quarterback now between Cooper Rush and Trey Lance. So you have a defense that's all beat up. And you have Dead Man Walking as head coach and Mike McCarthy, who's going to be looking for a job at the end of the season. I can only take Washington on the hook there. Looks attractive. Indianapolis, and that total, that total's about right. I can see both teams in the 20s there. That's for sure. Indianapolis on the road catching 4 at the New York Jets. What have I been telling you all year long? I've said this before the season started, to pound that season win total on the under. The Jets have fired their head coach. They've switched off their offensive coordinator. They quote unquote have a healthy Aaron Rodgers, who is nothing more than a glorified has-been. If that, there's 20 other quarterbacks starting in the NFL that are better than Aaron Rodgers. You got Devontae Adams, and what'd you do? You went and got your ass handed to you against a very good Arizona team, which ironically I've told you all year long is a team you want to be betting on, that are going to be very good. Sneak up on people. Colts catching 4, total 44. The Colts did not look good against Buffalo. Flacco looked like dog crap. I'm not going to buy into the Jets. I'd use Indianapolis in a teaser, but I don't want anything to do with the game. Both teams are unbettable. Minnesota at Tennessee laying 6. I really don't care who's playing. There's your teaser. Put the Colts in with the Vikings. Get the Vikings at a pick. Vikings did not look good. This is a back-to-back roadie against AFC South teams. Must be who they're playing this year for their non-divisional 4 games. Tennessee's just terrible. They're terrible. 39.5 is a total. You know, in the NFL, sometimes you've got to handicap the game, get a clear-cut winner, know who the better team is, like Minnesota, and then you got to figure out why to take the other team, because the unlikely choices win more than they don't in the NFL. That's just the way it works. It's a tough pill to swallow. I just don't want anything to do with that game. Minnesota surprised me last week not beating up on Jacksonville, whose defense is deplorable. And the one thing Tennessee has is a defense. The problem is their offense sucks so bad that the defense keeps getting 3 and outs, 3 and outs, 3 and outs, and they get tired. And at the end of the game, people put them away. Pittsburgh at home against the Ravens catching 3. Give me the Steelers in a teaser for sure. The Ravens have a problem with their secondary. And you saw what Wilson did against a weak secondary against Washington, didn't you? I'm not going against Pittsburgh. I'm not getting in front of that train. Total 48.5. That defense of Pittsburgh's is no joke. TJ Watt. Now, it looks like they might have lost their other defensive end to an injury. Looked pretty bad. Ankle. He's not going to play. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at this. This is a big one. There's a lot on the line for both these teams. A lot on the line. Hayward, so far not practicing. Patterson, injured ankle. Oof. What's the total in that one again, folks? 48.5. Boy, that's going to be close. Because Pittsburgh's rolling now with Wilson in there. I'd have Pittsburgh in a teaser for sure. It's tough to go in there and win. And Baltimore, for the life of me, I can't figure out. I can only take Steelers. Cleveland catching 1 on the road at New Orleans, 44.5. I don't care whether Cleveland's been on a bye week or not. This is Jameis Winston Bowl, going back to New Orleans where he backed up forever. New Orleans with the new head coach got a win against a good Atlanta team. New Orleans minus 115 on the money line. Total 44.5 might be a bit too high. Jacksonville catching 13 at Detroit. We already talked about that Detroit game. Put Detroit in a teaser. You're going to have Mac Jones, a quarterback. If your season's done, why would you risk Trevor Lawrence anymore with that shoulder? Looks like he's going to have season-ending shoulder surgery. Why would you risk him? You're not going anywhere. You're not doing nothing. There's another. I would think that Peterson would lose his job at the end of the season as well. Detroit just did not have I don't know what that was, Jared Goff. I mean, this guy for 3 weeks had more touchdown passes than he did incompletions. And then he went down to Houston and looked like he hadn't played organized football since junior high for the first 3 quarters of that game. It was absolutely pathetic. I think the Detroit Lions have read too many of their headlines. They got humbled a little bit down there. They still got the win, but they got humbled. Maybe they'll refocus. If they do, they can beat the piss out of the Jaguars. Total 47. I'd play that under. 35-10, Detroit. Green Bay, Chicago. Here's the teaser. I'll give you a really good teaser. Take Green Bay, tease them down to a pick 'em. They're a 6-point road favorite at Chicago. Total 41. Take them. Take the Packers. And tease them with the Steelers. Packers down, Steelers up. That's your teaser of the week on the NFL Opening Line Report with Tony George. The Chicago Bears are a disaster. So instead of throwing Eberflus out of town and that entire coaching staff, which has just destroyed any chances of Caleb Williams being a good NFL quarterback, they may have ruined him this year. I mean, you look at Jaden Daniels at Washington and you look at Caleb Williams at Chicago. Who made the right choice in picking a quarterback? Can't be denied. Nonetheless, I can only play Green Bay here. And what Chicago do, they, as I mentioned, they got rid of their offensive coordinator. Big deal. You can't pass block for nothing. How many sacks they have? Are they still sacking Williams right now? I mean, the Patriots went in there and punked them. Green Bay's off a bye week? I think Green Bay could name the score. 41. I'd probably play the under. But tease Green Bay down. Las Vegas catching 7.5 at Miami, who surprisingly played extremely well against the Rams on Monday night. I did not see that coming. They've just looked like dog crap all year long. Tyreek Hill was not supposed to play. He only had 16 yards, but he did have a touchdown pass. And the Raiders off a bye. Give me the Raiders plus 7.5. Total 44.5 seems a little high. The Rams, the aforementioned Rams, laying 4.5 on the road at New England. Total 44. The Drake May experiment continues. I'd play that under. Yep, under. Atlanta at Denver. Denver's laying 2. I know the look-ahead line on that was, I think, Atlanta laying points. After that dud they laid, that big dog turd in the cantaloupe patch at the 50-yard line down at the Mercedes-Benz Superdome or whatever they call it now. I mean, how do you let the Saints beat you when you're leading your division? They're catching 244. I'd probably tease them up to plus 8. I can only take Denver in that game. I can't trust Kirk Cousins. I can't trust him. I can't trust that coaching staff. I can't trust him. You never know what you're going to get. They might go in there and beat them 28-10. I mean, and honestly, Denver should have beat Kansas City. San Francisco at Seattle, laying 6.5, total 50.5. Baker Mayfield with no wide receivers to speak of. Practice squad guys took them down to the wire. Seattle on a bye week, plus 6.5, divisional game, 50.5, so total, avenging a home loss on, it was that Monday or Sunday night that San Francisco went up there and just whipped their ass behind the woodshed. Yeah, give me Seattle plus the points there. Make a game of it. Kansas City at Buffalo. Buffalo 2.5. Total 45.5. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is an underdog. Kansas City had played a good game all year and they're unbeaten. That's how good they are. They haven't played a good game all year and they're unbeaten. They find ways to win. That's why they've been to 5 AFC championships in a row. They've won 4 of them, and they've won 3 Super Bowls. They know how to win and close games. Mahomes, 12-1-1 ATS is an underdog. 11-3 straight up, including 3 in a row straight up in ATS last year in the playoffs. Give me Buffalo. Chargers on the Sunday night game against the Cincinnati Bengals, -1.5. Total 47.5. Very simple. Give me the Chargers. The Monday night, oh boy. Battle of Texas, boys and girls. Houston, 7.5. 42's the number against the hapless Dallas Cowboys. Lame duck coach, injury-riddled defense that can't stop grandma with his shopping cart at Costco. Houston off an embarrassing home loss where they blew a double-digit second-half lead. Don't know who's going to play quarterback for Dallas. Who's it going to be? You definitely have Houston in a teaser with somebody on Sunday. Total 42. I'd go over. Houston's going to have 31 points in that game. You think Dallas could put up 14? I can only play Houston there, and I hate that number. And I hate laying points on the road on Monday Night Football. If it's over 3, I won't do it hardly ever. Dallas is so bad, ladies and gentlemen. They're bad. What's going to change? Houston can't protect the quarterback. Ask yourself this question. How does Dallas exploit that? How? Guy's got all day to throw the ball against them. Joe Mixon will have a field. You better have Joe Mixon on rushing yards and Joe Mixon on receiving yards out of the backfield. Guarantee he's going to have a huge night against Dallas. Could be a career night. That's probably the best bet in that game. Leave me your comments right here on this YouTube page. We'll go back and fill them out for you. 3-2 week, but lost a little bit last week and lost a top play. I think we're 16-7 or 17-7 our last 24. But we're off a down week on Sunday, 2-2 Sunday, and lost that top pick. We've been steady all year in the NFL. We've had a couple of bad weekends, and the rest of them have either been 50-50 or we've won big. You can expect a good Sunday this Sunday. I see a couple plays in here that are well worth taking. If I had not had my game of the year, I'd have it on one of these games, and that'd be the only game I put out. And it just might be a 7-unit pick, and that's it. Maybe throw a teaser in there. Yeah, there's one on here. Low-bearing fruit. If you'd be looking, because I am. Doc Sports, place to be. Free $60. Link in the description below. If you've never been a member, we'll park $60 in any new account. Comes with a profit guarantee and absolutely zero hassles. Been around 52 years for a reason. A lot of free information over there. College basketball is getting underway. There's a lot of information on college basketball. And we got college basketball picks up there. Come on. And don't forget about the NFL prop market. We got some props coming up this weekend as well on Thursday and Monday. And you always have a 4 or 5 pack on Sunday. And those prop cards are $25. You can't go through McDonald's for 2 people for $25. Have some fun. Buy some props. Make some money. Doc Sports. Thumbs up. Subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.